couple of quick reminders, and this has not been officially made public yet. We're going to do kind of a special launch, but for those of you who listen to me on live, you get the insider scoop. Hey, Ginger. Hey, Ginger. I heard from Jonathan today. Thanks so much for sending him my way. And let's see here. So the exciting news, it hasn't been launched publicly, so watch for an announcement, but guess what's finally available? Speed Cleaning for the Pros book in Spanish and Speed Cleaning for the Pros DVD in Spanish. Finally, after 8 years, we finally got the book translated professionally in Spanish, and the new updated Speed Cleaning DVD has been translated to Spanish as well. So Espanol, you guys can actually order it now. It is online now, but we are going to be running a special here. So if you call Deborah at the office, at the Speed Cleaning office, you can just ask her for the special. The special has not been published online. So you can call the Speed Cleaning office, which is, oh, what is their number over there? It is 800, I think it's 717-2532. If anybody knows the number faster than me, I'm gonna look it up on my phone so I don't tell you wrong. But 800-717-2532. That is the Speed Cleaning office, and if you want to get your Speed Cleaning DVD, the updated Speed Cleaning DVD and book in Spanish, you can get it now. Hey, Ginger. Oh, wait, did I see the wrong Ginger? I think I said hello to the, no, there are two Gingers on here. I'm so confused. It's like looking at twins. Hello, the second Ginger. So great to see you. Oh, Ginger Mosier says, I need that. Yes, everybody needs it in Spanish. And I can't believe how long it took me to come up with that. But, you know, I was going to give you guys a speed cleaning tip from the company every time I jump on live. And I don't see, oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get I have a bucket of supplies I keep right here in my office. So bear with me while I disappear. 1 second. I'm still here. I'm just running. All right. Kind of rude of a host to leave the camera, but I did want to feature a speed cleaning product, at least every time I jump on live, so you guys can see some of the great tools and equipment that we have, besides all the really great training materials that we have really good tools. And my philosophy is time is money. If you can buy a tool that will save your staff time, then you will save payroll costs, and over time you'll be able to add more jobs and make more money. So this is one of my favorite tools at Speed Cleaning. You'll see our little label here. And basically it's a rubber upholstery brush. You know how long it takes to go find the attachments to a vacuum cleaner, hook on the attachments, you know, pull them out of their compartments, hook on the attachments, and then try to vacuum cat hair off of a sofa or off of a pillow, you know, the arm of a chair, of a upholstered chair. It takes forever to vacuum the hair off. If your staff are all armed with one of these in their bucket, I mean, I think they're like, I don't know, they're under $10. And if they're armed in their bucket, they can grab this upholstery brush and just roll over the hair on the arm of a sofa, the arm of a chair, roll over the hair on a pillow or an ottoman. You know, sometimes your customers, they don't really expect you, don't do it on your own arm, do it on an upholstered piece of furniture. Your customers don't expect you to vacuum all of their furniture and all of their upholstery, but it really does help, especially impress the customer, if you can have a tool to just take off the big globs of hair that cats leave when they sit on a couch or they sit on, you know, the arm or the back of a couch. And it's just a real quick swipe, swipe, swipe. The thing is filled with hair. And what's really cool is you can actually rinse this underwater and the hair will just slide off, and then you can wad that little hunk of hair up with a piece of toilet tissue and you know, throw it in the trash can to be emptied later. So it just rinses right off. And they're quick, they're sturdy, they don't break, and you can just stick them in the bucket, your cleaning caddy or your container. And, you know, they can get wet. They're just fantastic tools, and time is money. So you're impressing the customer. If you've got clogged hair, like right along the edges of the baseboard, but it's just one little area. I mean, you could run across the room and go hunting for a vacuum attachment if you want, but this gets, you know, it's pointy. It's got this little pointed edge. You can just get right there in the groove of the carpet up tight against the baseboard and pull out the hair. Dog hair, cat hair, whatever, and it'll just pull it out. And then again, you can just rinse all the hair underwater and then, you know, take that hair with a piece of toilet tissue and wipe it up. You don't want to rinse the hair down the sink and clog it up. Speedcleaning.com, can't even talk. Speedcleaning.com, that's where you can find these great tools. And they will save you time and money. So before I get to tonight's talk, let's see, I want to say hello to somebody else. Hey, Patty, great to see you. Thanks for joining me. One more quick announcement. Speed Cleaning for the Pros Conference is coming up. I know it's only May 23rd and it might feel like it's forever away, but the deadline for the discounts on our hotel is June 7th. Trust me, it is worth every penny to attend. Speed Cleaning for the Pros, June 29th and 30th. It's a Friday and a Saturday. Come as the business owner, bring your high-level office manager with you, and if you have a training supervisor that you want me to train, bring them for Saturday. If you're traveling, they can hang out in the room. They can watch the DVD if you bring your laptop, if you have a DVD player. They can watch the speed cleaning training DVD and read the speed cleaning book in the room on Friday while you're in owner's training, and then they will join you on Saturday for owner and employee training. Best investment you'll ever make if you really want to take your training to a whole new level. Ask yourself, what is it worth to your business if, let's see, Ginger asked a question. Ginger says, share your Groove Jar referral code on the CBF Mastermind. Okay, yes, I'll share that. Yes, Ginger, I'll do that. Sorry about that. But you have to ask yourself, what would it mean to your business if you invested in a higher level approach to training and you improved quality? So that meant hopefully you will lose fewer customers over quality issues. You improved consistency, which is guaranteed to help you keep your customers longer, because customers really care about consistency over perfection. And if you could increase production rates of your staff, you could lower your payroll costs. Or you could add more jobs if they're on a commission. It doesn't lower your payroll costs, but you add more jobs and make more money. So ask yourself, what would it be worth to my business if I improve my training even just a little bit? For most people, it is worth thousands and thousands of dollars every year. For larger businesses, it can be worth tens of thousands of dollars every year. So Speed Cleaning for the Pros, the way you register is go to debbiesardone.com/events, debbiesardone.com/events, or you can always go to speedcleaning.com/events. Either place you can register for the conference. June 7th is the deadline. Hotel is only $106 a night, and the hotel is the Marriott right at the airport, so you don't even have to rent a car or take a cab or an Uber to get to the hotel. It's right there. All right, so let's talk tonight about how to stop living in the gap. And a lot of people struggle with this. So I thought I'd kind of make some notes and go over my thoughts with you on the difference between living in the gap and living in the gain. And say hello real quick to Tina. Do you ever travel to Pennsylvania? Not so far. I may bring my conference to Las Vegas next year, and I'll also bring it to Dallas in February. But this actually might be the very last live conference that I do in this comprehensive format. Now that we have everything recorded and edited professionally on DVD, we may be offering the full-blown comprehensive speed cleaning 2-day event only on DVD soon. And so I'm not sure if this is the last one or the next one will be the last one, but this might be the last speed cleaning. In fact, I need to make a decision so I can announce that to everybody before June 1st, if this will be the absolute last live speed cleaning for the pros, the way we do it. I may do a speed cleaning light because then people can take advantage of the DVDs and not travel. So those are coming out really soon. And so anyway, say hello to Angela and Tina. All right, I think I've said hello to everybody. So let's just talk real quick about how to stop living in the gap. First of all, let me explain what the gap is and the gain. The gap is kind of living in want. It's where you're not satisfied, you're not confident, you have not achieved what you really want. That's living in the gap. And living in the gain is when you are just thrilled with what you have gained. You see the gains, you see the accomplishments, you're experiencing the achievement and the joy of success, the joy of progress. So that's the difference between the gap and the gain. Now, let me first establish the difference between goals and ideals, because your gaps and your gains will have a lot to do with your ideals and your goals. So the difference between ideals and goals get measured and reached. Goals are very specific. You know, a goal of, let's say, adding $5,000 a month in revenue to my business, that's a goal. That's not really an ideal. An ideal is getting out of the field forever, not picking up the mop ever again, just running the company, growing the accounts, managing the employees, closing the sales, creating systems. That's what people oftentimes, an ideal is to get out of the field and stop cleaning and do all those other things. A goal, and in some ways that's also a goal because that can be measured, but for some people it's an ideal. It's a someday I'm going to get out of the field, but there's really no path to getting out of the field. They don't really know what the steps are to getting out of the field. Maybe they've tried year after year after year, and 10 years have gone by and they're still cleaning. So for them, it's an ideal. But usually an ideal is something kind of big and distant, and you don't even know the steps to achieve it, so there's no way to measure it yet. For instance, somebody whose business only makes a couple $100,000 a year, and they have this big ultimate ideal of creating a $1 million maid service that enjoys freedom and quality of life. That's an ideal. They may not have a clue how to get there, but that's an ideal. Whereas a goal is, all right, I'm at 200,000. Next year I want to be at 300,000. And then the next year I'm going to be at 400,000 and then 500,000, So goals are very measurable and very specific and quite achievable. When you live in the gap, you focus on how far you are from what you want to be. That's when you live in the gap. You're constantly looking at, I thought I would be out of the field by now. I thought I would be $1 million maid service. I thought I'd be earning an income of 100,000 a year by now. And you're always focused on what you're not and the ideals you've never achieved. And that's living in the gap. There's a lot of frustration, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and it's exhausting to live in the gap. And a lot of people do. They're always looking at what they want and they're not there. And living in the gain is different. When you live in the gain, you see how far you've come. You are looking back at last year. I'll give you an example. I just saw a post this morning. I'd missed it. I don't know how I missed it, but I saw a post this morning in our CBF private group. This is our paid mastermind group, Cleaning Business Fundamentals owners who've gone through my course. And they post a lot of their gains in the CBF group. And I love it. It's the most inspiring thing I can do is to start my morning reading about some of the gains that our CBF members have. And I think that's one of the things I convey in my training, besides the actionable step-by-step formula and strategy for building $1 million maid service, is I stress that you do have to celebrate the gains. Otherwise, you wear yourself out, always looking towards where you want to be someday, but you're not there yet, right? So she was celebrating a gain. And she literally, it's Katie, and she posted this morning about how far she's come in 1 year and how she already has an employee working for her. And I forgot if she said she has another employee. She might have. But she's, and that she's out of the field. She's been trying to get out of the field. She's out of the field. But now she has a new struggle. She has a new challenge because her challenges are different now that she's a bigger business, now that she's reached one of her biggest goals to get out of the field. She has a new struggle. She has a new challenge, and that is the overwhelm of all the office stuff. And that was the word she used, the office stuff. So now she no longer has the overwhelm of cleaning the accounts, trying to find workers to help and manage the back end, the office stuff. Now her overwhelm is, well, now I have more customers, I have a full-time employee, and I have a lot more office staff. So her new overwhelm is, wow, how do I prioritize what I need to do and if I need to hire somebody or what to outsource? And I thought what was encouraging is she was able to look back, because it's a measurable goal that she did achieve, and look back and see, since taking my course, I wish I'd pulled it up so I could read it word for word. Since taking my course, she's out of the field and she's come further than she thought she could. But now she has a new set of challenges. So she's going to have to establish some new goals, some goals for outsourcing some of the mundane tasks that are really a waste of her time, and then prioritizing some of the high-level tasks that really she should only be doing, and let some other people do some of the lower-level tasks. There's another gain that I'll share with you that was just so special recently. I got not an email, I got a private note in my Facebook inbox where one of my students that actually came to Speed Cleaning for the Pros last year, it's been right about a year actually, it was almost a year that he came, it was last year in June. And he said he has experienced so much growth since coming to Speed Cleaning for the Pros. Number one, of course, he went back and implemented the training system because it's very simple. The steps are easy to follow. And I also teach you during the program, during the Speed Cleaning conference, how to implement without resistance, because it's hard to go back and implement some new things if your staff are all getting upset and you can't get any buy-in from your leaders and influencers. So I teach at the Speed Cleaning Conference how to go back and implement successfully. And so he went back, he implemented very successfully, but he also took the leap of faith and the plunge, and he took the CBF course at the same time. And he said, April of 2017, he did $40,000 a month. April of 2018, he did $54,000 a month. So that's $14,000 a month more since he took my program, since he took the training. So $14,000 a month more times 12 months, that'd be an extra $168,000 if he didn't keep growing, if he stopped right there. But so a year ago, a year later, he's up $14,000 a month, but drum roll, May, so this month, he will hit $65,000. So that's $25,000 more in a month than he was making a year ago before he took my course. This guy is an implementer. He doesn't take in a bunch of training and then say, what a bunch of great ideas, and then never implement. He goes back and one step at a time he implements. He has a family. He has a very busy business, but he doesn't make excuses. He just puts one new thing in place at a time, and he watches the results change in his business and his life. He is living in the game. He is not living in the gap. If he were living in the gap, he'd be sending me an email saying, man, I'm not at $1 million yet. I'm just not there yet. I wish I could get there. I wish I could get there. He's going to get there. He will be $1 million cleaning business probably within the next 2 years. He will be there. I have noticed, unless you have a ton of money and a ton of time, most people take about 3 years when they take my course to get to $1 million, unless you're a rock star like Ginger. But most people can get there in about three years if that's their goal. And that's usually somebody starting from practically ground zero. Now, obviously, I've worked with people who've gotten to $1 million in 6 months or 1 year because they had a much bigger running start. But I'm talking about people that were cleaning. People were literally out there cleaning, and they want to get their income to 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. They want to grow their business to $1 million. And oftentimes, if you don't grow fast enough, you live in the gap instead of in the gain, because all you can see is that goal you're trying to reach, instead of looking back and go, oh my goodness, look how far I've come. So look how far he's come. Now, if he consistently stays at 65,000 a month for 12 months, that's an additional $25,000 a month he's bringing in over the time he was a year before he took the Cleaning Business Fundamentals course and attended the Speed Cleaning Conference. So 25,000 times 12 months, that's $300,000 a year. That's $300,000 a year. So, and what's 65? 1, 2, 3 times 12. So if he pretty much stays consistent with his growth, even if he doesn't grow a lot more, he'll be at 780. And I believe they were in the 400s when I met them. So living in the gain versus living in the gap is not constantly looking at where you wish you were, but looking back and seeing how far you've come. And that's huge. And that's what I always encourage my CBF members, because not everybody can progress at the same pace as the next person, but everybody can be better than they were a week ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. Everybody can be better. And if you look back at what you've achieved and you are disappointed, you look back at the last year, the needle hasn't moved an inch. You look back at your life, the last year, the last 5 years, and it does not look like what you wanted it to be. You're not moving forward. You're not progressing. You know, a lot of people are just, there's a ton of activity in their business. They work really hard. They work long hours. They clean during the day. They answer phones in the evening. They go on estimate calls at night and on the weekends. And so there's a ton of activity, but their activity looks more like jumping up and down than running forward. And so if your activity looks like you're just jumping up and down, because when you're jumping up and down, you are going nowhere. You're going nowhere, but you're getting exhausted. You're tired. Or are you running forward, or at least walking forward, or at least taking steps forward? If you look back and you have not moved forward, then it is time for an adjustment. You don't have to live in the gap. You don't have to look back and constantly live with regret. You can change that, but you can't change it by chance. It's not going to change by you saying, well, I guess I'll just keep doing the same thing I've been doing the last 5 years and maybe things will be different. Well, they won't be. The things will stay the same. But you can change your actions. You can decide, I'm going to invest in myself finally. You have to ask yourself, am I worth it? Do I have what it takes? If I just knew the right steps to grow my business, to get out of the field, to build $1 million maid service, or create a $100,000 a year income, do I have what it takes? If I had the roadmap, if I actually had the strategy, the system, the formula, whatever you want to call it, do I have it? And if the answer is yes, I have it, I just don't know what the steps are, then invest in yourself. Quit living in the gap. Quit looking backwards and seeing no progress. Quit looking backwards the past year and settling for a year that looks the same as it has the last few years, or just barely better. Don't remain in the gap. Don't choose to not invest in yourself. And I say that you can invest by coming to the Speed Cleaning Conference and get better at business, whether you get a little better or a lot better. And I guarantee you, you're more likely to get a lot better. We don't spend 2 days talking about cleaning. Trust me, we spend 2 days talking about how people can build $1 million maid service. And we start with the strategic approach to systemized training, which helps you reduce employee turnover, helps you improve employee satisfaction on the job, and of course, raise the quality and the consistency and make more money and create higher profits. All of those things are part of building a successful business and ensuring that you can live in the game and not live in the gap. It might even get bigger when the gap might even get bigger when you begin to move forward, because all of a sudden when you start moving forward and progressing and making changes for a very short period of time, you're not comfortable, right? So when things are just sort of same old, they're not really moving forward, but they get comfortable, it's kind of easy to stay there, even though you're not progressing, and you look back and you don't see much, and you look forward and it seems too far away. But as things get bigger and improve in your business for just a short while, things might actually get worse. They might get a little tense because you're growing and you're making changes and it feels uncomfortable. But progress does feel uncomfortable when you're making it. What isn't uncomfortable is comfort. And comfort means you're standing still. You're not even jumping up and down. You're standing still. You're going nowhere. And unless you have achieved all of your ideals, most of us don't want to stand still in business. But if you just kind of work it out and apply the changes and take the time away from your business and spend the money that maybe you'd rather spend elsewhere on your training to get better as a business owner during that painful period where you're kind of in the gap, in a short period after implementing and taking action, it will feel like the gain. All of a sudden you'll be living in the gain, and you'll be able to look back and go, oh my goodness, my training program used to be utter chaos or non-existent. And you can look back and go, wow, we implemented Debbie's speed cleaning system 3 months ago, and look at our business. It's better, it's smoother, it's less chaotic. We've had fewer people that we had to cut loose who were in training because they couldn't cut the mustard. You can look back on and see the progress and measure the results. This was a quote I got from Dan Kennedy. If you turn around and measure your progress against where you started, then you're in the game, and you'll experience a sense of having moved forward, of having achieved something, and you'll be motivated to continue on to your next stage of growth. And this is where I think attending conferences becomes so powerful, and you get so much more gain out of the actual program that you learn from, is that a little bit of success, a little bit of forward momentum, getting a little bit better creates a sense of success. And once you see that you have moved forward and you've experienced moving forward and you begin to experience some gains, maybe your profits improve, maybe finally you can take a paycheck, or finally you can take a bonus, or finally you can increase your income, or finally you can raise the pay you've always wanted to raise on your employees. Whatever those gains are, you get to experience that, and that sense of having moved forward, of having achieved something, actually motivates your next actions. It motivates you to continue to take your next step. And I think oftentimes that's why people who will attend my conferences will want to join my CBF program, because they realize, oh my goodness, if you helped me this much just with the training, no telling what you could help me with my sales, my undercharging for my service, my lack of profitability, getting me out of the field. It fuels people's desire to do more and go to that next stage of growth in your business. Because when you live in the gain and you're always looking back and seeing, wow, look how far I've come. Wow, last month it was this month it's this, or last year it was this, and this year it's this. You are continually motivated and inspired to keep stretching to do more. A lot of times when business owners come to me to talk to me about CBF, they're on their last leg of motivation. Many people have come to me saying, Debbie, I'm ready to throw in the towel. I'm ready to quit. I'm fed up. I'm discouraged. I'm tired. And all it takes is hope that it doesn't have to keep being this way, that you can actually progress and move forward instead of keep moving backwards and then forward and then backwards and then forward, which is like jumping up and down. Once they see they actually can put specific steps in place and it reaps tremendous benefit immediately, it fuels their inspiration to do more and take the next step and then the next step and then the next step. And then a year later, they look back and they see how far they've come. So don't live in the gap. I'm going to leave you with one more story of a client that really struggled living in the gap years ago. I'll call her Joan. It's not her name to protect the privacy, but she probably wouldn't mind if I shared the story anyway. She's a very successful businesswoman, does a phenomenal job with her business. And I had helped her for many, many years, kind of off and on. And then she took my program and just really took off. And then she had some major life struggles where she had to slow down and take care of some personal things. And then she ramped things back up. So she's been through a lot. She's really doing very well. But I remember she came to me at one of my events and we sat down and we did some one-on-one time because she qualified for some, intimate level training. And she said, I'm starving for success. She was living in the gap. And she said, I set a goal, I reach it, I never stop and celebrate it. I set another goal, I reach it. Then I work my head off. And every goal she set and reached, she would just work her head off, work day and night to reach her goals. And her goals usually were like $10,000 a month incremental goals. So, I remember the first time she said, I just want to get to 10,000 a month. And then I remember the first time she said, I want to get to 25,000 a month. And then I want to get to 30,000 a month. And I think it was right around between 25 and 30,000 a month goal. And she said, I'm just starving. I work so hard and I keep pouring every ounce of my own energy, my heart, my soul, and my money, every extra cent of profit I pour back into growth and marketing and trying to get to the next goal. And she said, I just feel like I'm withering on the vine. And I don't think I used these words back then because it's been several years ago because I probably didn't have these words. I don't know what words I used, but I explained to her that she was living in the gap. She never stopped to celebrate her successes. Every time when she got to 10,000, she was striving to get to 12,000. When she got to 12,000 a month, she was striving to get to 15,000 and then to 20,000. She never celebrated her wins. She never lived in the gain. She was just always frustrated that she wasn't at that next goal yet. Always frustrated that she hadn't hit 30,000, hadn't hit 40,000. And I asked her, I said, what do you really want? What do you want? Because you are continually living in want. And she said, I don't want a big house. I don't want expensive clothes. She said, I want a Mini Cooper. She wanted a new car. She said, I drive this older, I forget what it was, probably some kind of an SUV that carts kids around and all their sporting equipment. And she said, I just want a fun, cool car. I'm not old, I'm young. And I drive this old beat up SUV, or maybe it was a minivan, a minivan. And she said, it doesn't always start and it gives me trouble. And she said, I feel like I know I shouldn't want this. This is what she said. I know I shouldn't want this. And I know I should be investing in my business, but honestly, I've just had this longing that I can't shake. I want a Mini Cooper. I want a new, cool car. And I said to her in that moment, I said, you have to give that to yourself. And I said, okay, how much is it? What's the price? If you put down a little small down payment, you make payments. What's the price of this car that you want? And she said, oh, I've test drove them. I know exactly what it would cost me. It would cost me $450 a month in payments. And I said, okay, for crying out loud, $450 a month to satisfy a longing that's really holding you back because she was living in the gap. I said, okay, $450 a month times, let's see. I said, what you need in your business, let's see if I can figure it backwards, divided by, I said, you need, oh, I can't remember what figure I came up with, but it was like, oh crap. 450 times 5. I think what I said was, based on what you told me, based on your margins, based on the formula that I teach you, you just need to add about $2,200 to $2,300 in revenue a month. That's it. That's it. And you'll have enough profit left over that's not spoken for in terms of wages and general liability and, you know, cleaning supplies and all the stuff that it costs to run a business. I said, all you need to do is increase your revenue by $2,200 to $2,300 a month. And I said, what you've been doing is every time you do increase your revenue by $2,200 a month, you go pour it into more marketing so you can reach another milestone and reach another growth plateau, another growth level. And I said, you never stop and celebrate your successes. You never reward yourself. And so you're always living in the want. You're always living in the gain. And when I pointed out all she needed was $2,250 more in sales, it didn't seem as overwhelming to her that she could buy that car. It actually seemed completely doable. And I said, can you do that? Can you raise your, I think at that time she was probably over 25,000 in sales each month. I said, can you bring in 22 or 2,300 more a month? And she said, yeah. I said, let's break it down. Let's divide it by 4.33. I said, that's just an additional $520 in sales in 1 week, every week. Could you bring on 1 or 2 more customers a week to make that happen? 2 customers that are above $250 first-time cleans are going to bring that in. And if one of them becomes recurring every time that happens, you're going to be at your $2,250 additional sales in a month in no time, probably 2 to 3 months without a lot of effort. Just hearing how possible and how easy that was gave her hope that she could kind of ease off on the gas, because she was driving that business success train just as fast and hard as she could. And just hearing that if she just eased off on the gas a little bit and gave herself permission to go spend that $450 a month on the car she really wanted, that it was not as hard as she thought. It's not going to keep her from reaching her other higher ideals or higher goals. It's just going to slow her down a little bit. It's just slow her down a little bit because she spent the money on herself. And I'm a big believer that it's hard to achieve bigger and better things, make more money, become wealthy, if you always live in the gap and you're always wanting. You're always wanting. At a certain point, you have to stop and invest in yourself. Now, for some people, that means invest in yourself. Take some training to get you out of the field or to get your business to the next level. Some people just don't see that they're worth it. I'm not worth it. I can't spend that on myself. My kids need shoes. For some people, it means celebrate those wins. Live in the gain and celebrate those wins. Celebrate the progress you've made. When you look back and you're like, wow, look what's happened this past year. Give yourself a raise. Or if you don't want to give yourself a raise because you want to keep investing in your growth, take some of that money and go buy yourself something that you have been wanting. Something that you've been wanting. I know for myself, that was a 3-carat ring. A 3-carat ring. My goal was if I hit $1 million in sales or my 25th wedding anniversary, this is what I was going to get. Because at some point you can just drive and drive and drive and drive and drive and drive. You'll burn yourself out even if you are successful because you never stop and celebrate the wins. You never live in the gain. You're always living in the gap. What I want to be, what I want to be. You know what? When you live in the gap, you're never happy, you're never satisfied, and you never feel successful. I always wanted to be $1 million maid service. And when I got there, I celebrated. And I was so proud of that. And I actually was very happy and content with that for many, many years. And when I went absentee, because my intention was always to build a self-running business, 100%. Very unusual in our industry. Almost nobody does that. And I literally had that as a goal, that $1 million business first, self-running business second. And I did it. Now, I did move the ideal goal. I told my office manager about 3 years ago, we need to go from $1 million to $1.5 million, because I wanted to prove to myself that it would grow even as an absentee owner. And we're there. We went to $1.5 million this past year, 2017. So now I've moved the goal again. I told my office manager before she retires in 3 years, we need the business to be at 2 million. So that's another gigantic quantum leap. Hopefully we'll get there. As an absentee owner, obviously things don't grow as fast as if I worked in it on the day-to-day. But we have a new ideal, but I still look back and I go, oh my goodness. As an absentee owner, that means a business where I never go in and work, ever. I don't answer the phones. I don't even fill in when my office manager goes on vacation for 2 weeks. My office is so well run. It's not a tribute to me. It's not that I'm so smart. It's a tribute to my system and my formula that we all follow in our business. It runs so smoothly and so profitably that not only do I never have to step in and fill in, but my office manager can go on, she usually takes 1 week vacations, but this past year she had to take a 2-week vacation. She can go away for 2 weeks and I don't even have to fill in. So it is a self-running business. And I look back and I do live in the game. I do realize, wow, that's something that 99% of all businesses do not achieve, is a level of success monetarily and freedom-wise that we have achieved in our business. So live in the gain, even if it's small. Don't focus entirely on what you don't have and what you wish you were or what you wish you could do. Look back and celebrate that incremental progress if you've had it. Now, if you haven't had incremental progress, if you look back and you are not happy because you're still not far enough along, then it doesn't mean you're miserable, but you can make the decision that this will not continue. You can make the decision that I will move forward now. I will get the help that I need in my business. I will invest in myself because I'm worth it. I'm smart enough. I have what it takes. I just need the steps. So think about living in the gain and not living in the gap, focusing on how much you've achieved, and of course, still having really big, great goals and ideals, but looking back and celebrating those wins and living in the game. If you joined us a little late, please come to Speed Cleaning for the Pros conference. You can find registration details at debbiesardone.com/events, or you can go to speedcleaning.com/events. Please join us. You will see the crew from Zen Maid. Courtney will be there demonstrating, showing some of the Zen Maiders, some of the tricks and tools and tips that maybe you aren't even aware of in the Zen Maid software. They will be there. And I'm working on a celebrity guest I'm hoping is going to make it. I won't know for sure, probably for another week or so, but we'll have a fantastic time. So I hope you guys will be there. I do have some room for VIP status if you'd like to upgrade your attendance. And again, this is another place to live in the game. If you know you've made enough money to do some things for yourself, then upgrade to VIP status. So you can have a little more intimate time, some one-on-one time with me. We do lunches together. We have a meet and greet cocktail party Thursday night if you get in early enough before we start early Friday. And so treat yourself to upgrading to VIP status. You know, I've been kind of guilty in the past when I could afford it, and then I didn't upgrade myself to VIP status at different conferences that I've attended. And I've thought, what's wrong with me? Why am I not treating myself to that? Why don't I want to be treated special? Do I not deserve it? A couple $100? What's wrong with me? So I've had to train myself to live in the game. When you have the extra, or you know you want to treat yourself to a little bit of special treatment, then just do it. Just do it. In fact, I completely forgot to do this earlier today. I'll have Audrey do it, but I am lowering the VIP status to 197. It was at 297. I'm lowering it to 197. So make sure you become a VIP if you would like, but join us at Speed Cleaning for the Pros conference. It will change your life. If you want to learn more about the Cleaning Business Fundamentals course, that is my signature course where I actually teach you a formula and a complete strategy for creating $1 million maid service that gives the owner quality of life and freedom. Then you can just go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com and you can learn more there. There's a whole description of the syllabus of what we cover. We have a mastermind group to hold you accountable and to answer your questions live. And then we have live events that you get to attend. So the cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. All right, guys, does anybody have any questions? I completely forgot to ask you guys to jump in. Let me know your thoughts, what you're thinking about. Hey, Yan, I'm not sure if I said that right. Sherry, great to see you. And Aisha, I'm not, Benita, I don't know if I said your name correctly. I apologize. Aisha from Washington. And Ava, great to see you. I think I see Andrew. And let's see, did I miss anybody? I apologize if I did. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It's always a pleasure to share some insights with you to help you grow your business and help you live in the game and not live in the gap. And I guess we'll see you next time. I'm going to be going out of town for a few more days again. I've been out of town a lot. Actually, this month and next month are probably my two busiest travel dates, and then it'll slow down. So if you haven't been able to book an appointment with me, that is why, because I've been doing a lot of traveling. So thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great night. And I hope to see you in Atlanta, Georgia, June 29th and 30th, Speed Cleaning for the Pros conference. I promise you, it will change your business and it will change your life. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.